everybody. I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Dan Emmons, for those who don't know me. I'm currently a junior in the School of Management, studying business administration with a concentration in financial analysis. A little bit of background about myself. I've been involved with the Student Association for the past 3 years. I started as a first semester freshman as an office personnel mentee. So office personnel basically deals with the administrative tasks, the day-to-day activities in the office. So I have a very good background knowledge of what goes on in the main office of SA, all the clubs that are coming through, what is needed by each club, because I have held this position both my freshman and sophomore year. So this year I transitioned to the finance department as a bookkeeper, and this is where I've gotten most of the finance knowledge that I have now that made me want to run for the treasurer position. So going off of our platform, I know Matt and Meg talked a lot about community and compassion. I want to touch upon consistency. Because within the finance department, consistency has been one of the biggest issues we've had. Over the past years, since I've been here for 3 years, I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. I know what goes wrong in SA, I know what works well in SA. So over the past 3 years, just picking up on what works well, what treasurers have done well, what treasurers haven't done well, I think this will make me a great fit for the position. Going along with consistency, one of the major things I'd like to work with is rollover. Every year it's always been a problem that almost every club has had to face, and it boils down to communication with the coordinators for each council. I want to hold an open line of communication between myself and every coordinator, knowing that all the coordinators can come to me whenever they need about any club, but I even want coordinators to stress to all their clubs that they can go to the finance department, they can come to myself if I was elected treasurer, go to the assistant treasurer, go to any of the bookkeepers if they have any questions. I think that's going to be the best way to streamline any of the POs, any problems that any of the coordinators could have, or any of the clubs could have. Another thing I'd like to make more consistent would be POs. It's very difficult for clubs to know what is in POs because of the handbook that we have in place now. So the handbook we have in place now is about 18 to 19 pages, and at the end we have 3 pages of frequently asked questions. I think this is a problem because a lot of the clubs rip off the last page of the handbook, have the board sign it, say we read the handbook, and a lot of them don't actually read the handbook. So that's where they come into finance and have a lot of problems with the PO that they submitted, wondering why POs aren't on time, what's going wrong, and why things aren't working out the way they want. What I want to do is restructure the handbook so that we have those 3 pages in the beginning. So if clubs are going to read anything, they're going to read the frequently asked questions, get the information that they need right in the beginning of the handbook. Another thing I'd like to work on is digital receipts with Subboard. Subboard is the accounting service that SA uses, and they currently do not accept digital receipts, whether it be an emailed invoice or anything you might receive, some kind of receipt after you purchase something on a website. We need a paper receipt. I want to work on this with Subboard because in this day and age, it's very hard to get a paper receipt emailed to you, or mailed to you. It's very easy to get an email saying you bought this. Problem is those emails are very easy to fake, so Subboard has had an issue with accepting those, knowing that there's a possibility it might be fake and the funds might not be going to the proper place. So I want to work with Subboard, trying to find a way where we can maybe find a middle ground, maybe not accept every single electronic receipt we get, but find some way that clubs can not have to worry about getting every email receipt. Another thing I'd like to touch upon, which I believe Meg talked about, would be club orientation. Club orientation is known for being long, dry, and dreary. One thing I want to do is stress the important things to each council as to what they want. So when it comes to sports clubs, they don't need to know about selling tickets to an event, but they do need to know about how to purchase team gear, whether it be jerseys or shirts or any kind of uniform. Looking at it the other way, most international clubs will hold either a dance performance where they will be selling tickets, so they need to know about selling tickets when they don't need to know about maybe buying shirts or transportation when the sports club was. So I'd like to give each council almost specifically what they need to know. The last thing I would like to touch upon would be bookkeepers. One thing that is very difficult for all the bookkeepers would be, we have a 30-page handbook that a lot of clubs don't see. It's all for us. It's all internal. All bookkeepers have read it. It's mandatory for orientation. The thing is, it's 30 pages. It has a lot of information for a lot of different situations any club could have. I want to make this a little bit shorter, a little bit briefer, and also have a separate shortened handbook, quick access handbook, as you could say, for the bookkeepers, so that they're able to give every club the information they need right away and not have to look through the handbook and possibly give one answer to one club and a different answer to a different club, so everything is easier for all the clubs. With that being said, are there any questions?
So you kind of touched on, you've seen the good, the bad, the ugly. Were any of those negative situations that you've had to deal with, how did dealing with them kind of help you with wanting to become treasurer? How do you think those have kind of gave you the experience to become treasurer?
Those situations, most people wouldn't like dealing with them. I like dealing with them because I want, SA isn't here to be, or finance isn't there to be restricting and have all these regulations. We're there to help the clubs get what they need. So I think these situations, I love and hate them. I love them because I want to make them easier on the clubs. I want clubs to know, like, we're here to work with them, work for them. But I hate them because clubs are being restricted with what they can do. So these situations kind of make me want to come into the position and restructure things so that's easier for clubs to either get a contract signed, get their POs processed, get anything they can need.
You mentioned kind of having a middle ground there for approving emailed receipts.
Mm-hmm.
Can you maybe have you thought about it at all, maybe specifically what that kind of middle ground would be and what kind of system that SA and SBI would have to...
For me, I see the middle ground in between either a brick and mortar store or an online store. Amazon, normally you will get a paper receipt in the package, but not all places will do that. Most places, when you order something online, they email you a receipt right away. So I want something that you would order online, I would want to lean more towards accepting the e-receipt, while when you go to a store, you'd want a paper receipt coming back in. So I think the middle ground would be whether you order it online or you go to a store and buy it.
A couple of years ago, one of the topics in here was the SA website, and at the time, a lot of students had a lot of issues with it, just functionality of it a little bit, and also just the price of it in regards to what people saw the product. Hasn't really been updated or changed that much at all. Has your party at all discussed improving the website at all? And for you specifically as treasurer, do you think that would be a good investment for SA to put more money into this website and try to make it improve it as students see fit?
As of right now, I'm looking at the finance side of the website because that's mainly what I would be dealing with.
Yeah.
I'm happy with how it is. When you open the finance page, it comes right up, you scroll down, you have the handbook right there in PDF form. You can scroll through, find whatever you need. It would just be restructuring the handbook. It's very easy to find SAFE, very easy to find the general ledger, and even touching upon new website, SAFE 2.0, we've been very happy with that with the internal notes, processing POs. It makes it so much easier for bookkeepers and clubs to have the open line of communication. So coming from the finance side of it and what we have for the website, I'm happy with what we have now. The one thing I would want to restructure would be the handbook, which would be on the finance page.
Anything with I know clubs have had kind of the general ledger, sometimes it's hard to load. Anything with that, anything you guys could kind of do to improve that?
General ledger is almost out of our hands because that deals with our KVS system, so it makes it a little difficult. We can't really improve that system. That's out of our hands. We improved SAFE, and that was kind of ours.
Yeah. Would you consider talking to SBI and
Oh, I would definitely consider it. It's just feasibility with price and that kind of thing. Yes.
So you mentioned that you wanted to make changes to the handbook by putting the facts and questions in the beginning, and you said that you think that will help getting people to read it instead of just kind of saying, oh, I read it, and then tearing out the last page. Is there any other way that you hope to facilitate the reading of the handbook for clubs? I know that you mentioned people come to you with issues that are clearly stated in the handbook. What else do you plan to do?
That would touch upon the point that I made for club orientations, where it would make it easier for clubs to know what they have to do. Because there are some things some clubs don't have to worry about. Like Pokemon Club won't be selling too many tickets to their events. I know Meg touched upon both these clubs. And Step Troop will be selling tickets to an event. So it's touching upon one of those two things when we meet with them. So it's just tailoring things to what a club would need.
I know Joe created the new 333 form for clubs. Just what did you think of that? How it went this year, and would you be adjusting it all if you were the treasurer?
Yes, that's something I've actually been talking about with him, and I really like the system. I like it because not every club is based on revenue. Not every club is based on an event where they bring in a lot of money. One of the prime examples is BSU. They're used time in, time out. They make a lot of money from Black Explosion, their fashion show, when smaller clubs won't make a lot of money. So I like that clubs can be more involved in SA, so it promotes community within SA, and they're getting to more events, but they're getting to more events to make their life easier. So they don't have to worry about fundraising in the end.
I guess just maybe just talk us through a little bit more just your financial qualifications, and if you can also give us maybe some of the best financial decision that you've ever made, whether it's in SA or whether it's in your own personal finances. Just give us a little bit more background on why you think that you're maybe money savvy, if you do, and also
Okay.
just maybe one of the better financial decisions you've made in your life.
Well, I think my financial background would be the 3 years I've spent at SA. Even though I was at the front desk, I dealt with a lot of financial questions because they'd come to us first, and like I would just pick up on some of the stuff that people were asking. It was just very easy to pick up on that kind of stuff, and I would have to say one of my best financial decisions would be probably coming to UB. It's an in-state school, or I'm in-state because I'm from Long Island, so it's in-state tuition. It's a great price, and I love the school and I want to be as involved as possible. So I've just been very happy with that decision.
And just Megan mentioned that she'll be here over the summer working on things. Will you be over the summer? And if you're not going to be here over the summer, if you were elected, how would you kind of make up for that and get yourself prepared for the position?
Well, I would, if we're here, it'd be very easy. If I'm not here, we already have, me, Matt, and Meg have an open line of communication. We have a group message going. We have emails back and forth. We have Google Docs. We have everything we need. So we already have the open line of communication. It's just keeping that open, and if elected, I don't see that being an issue at all.
Okay, thank you, Dan.
All right, thank you.